Everyone is chasing something: success, recognition, love, peace. But some nights, even after ticking all the boxes, you lie awake wondering, why does it all still feel so empty? If you've ever looked around at your life and felt like something's missing, like there's a quiet ache you can't explain, then this story might be what your heart has been waiting to hear. In a quiet village, nestled between green hills and flowing rivers, there lived a young man named Daniel. To the world, he was everything people admired: strong, brave, determined. The kind of man who ran toward problems while others stood frozen. He never backed down from a challenge. People cheered for him, looked up to him. But beneath that proud exterior lived a silence no one else could hear. Daniel had won many battles. He had achieved what others only dreamed of. But he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing, like there was a blank page in the story of his life he hadn't yet written. The applause didn't satisfy him. The victories didn't warm him. He wasn't searching for success anymore. He was searching for meaning. One morning, unable to carry the weight of that emptiness any longer, Daniel set out to find a man he'd only heard whispers about, a wise elder named Eli who lived on the edge of the forest in a wooden hut. They said his words could open your eyes to truths you never knew lived within you. When Daniel reached the hut, Eli was sitting calmly in a chair, sunlight dancing in his silver hair, a kind smile softening the lines of his weathered face. Daniel approached and spoke with the honesty of a man who had nothing left to pretend. "I work hard," he said quietly. "I push myself every day, but no matter what I achieve, I don't feel at peace. I don't feel happy. Why do I feel this way?" Eli looked at him, not with pity, but with deep understanding. "I'll give you an answer," he said, "but first I need you to do something simple." He pointed toward a worn-out wooden bucket, riddled with cracks. "Take this to the river each day for a week. Fill it with water and pour it into my well. But remember, the bucket leaks." Daniel hesitated. A cracked bucket couldn't possibly fill a well. But he nodded, and so began his quiet labor. Every morning under the burning sun, Daniel walked to the river, filled the bucket, and made his way back. Water dripped from the cracks, leaving only a shallow puddle by the time he reached the well. He felt foolish, pointless. Still, he showed up the next day, and the next. He didn't know why. He just kept going. By the seventh day, exhausted and disheartened, Daniel brought the nearly empty bucket to Eli. "I failed," he said. "The well is still dry." But Eli smiled gently. "Look behind you." Daniel turned, and what he saw stopped his breath. The dry, dusty path he had walked every day was now alive, sprinkled with wild flowers, soft with green grass. The water that slipped through the cracks had been quietly nurturing the earth the whole time. Every step had left something beautiful behind. Eli's voice broke the silence. "That bucket, it's flawed, yes, but it still gave life. Just like you, we all have cracks. We all feel broken sometimes, but don't measure your worth by what you carry. Measure it by what you leave behind. You've been looking for peace at the finish line. But true happiness is found in the footprints you leave on the way." In that moment, something shifted inside Daniel. He no longer needed to prove anything. He had already been making a difference, even when he didn't realize it. He returned to his village with the same face, the same name. But something within him had changed. He no longer chased happiness like it was something far away. He began to find it in the small moments, in the quiet efforts, in the unseen beauty blooming behind him. Maybe you've been carrying a cracked bucket too. Maybe you've been so focused on the end goal that you haven't noticed the flowers blooming along your path. Maybe the part of you that feels broken is the very part of you that's been giving life to others all along. You don't need to fix every crack. You just need to keep walking.